Alrighty then.
Welcome to Nerd Happening with Arthur Semelender and Levi Grant.
Who just had a stroke. It's kind of what it sounded like at
I
first.
told you the ongoing joke of always giving you a different last name.
It's not a bad. I might have to keep that.
That way your guest comes up with your last name every episode. That way you have like people when they start at the beginning, like slowly it evolves over time.
Yeah.
And it's an ongoing joke throughout the series.
If I ever got big enough, I'd have like a. If I ever got big enough and had a Patreon, I'd let people pick my last name for the episode.
You could have weekly votes. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try to remember that for later on.
So are we doing reviews or just talking about it in general?
Both.
Okay.
Just gonna go episode by episode, give our thoughts, what we thought of it.
All right. Well, we're going over WandaVision this week.
Yeah, filmed before a live studio audience, the first episode.
So, yes, the first episode was filmed in front of an actual live.
That's what it's called. What it really was?
It really was.
Oh wow, that makes sense.
Yep. That's what I read on a couple of different sites. Is they actually had an audience for the first one.
All right.
So that way it felt more like
the Dick Van Dyke
Dick
Show.
Van Dyke show.
That's literally what it's based off of. It's what it says.
That's what the opening is. It's if you watch Dick Van Dyke growing up, the house layout is I think it's practically the same set as the Dick Van Dyke Show.
The set looks like you ever watch King of Queens?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they took that reset and repurposed it.
Mm-mm. That is. Did you ever watch Dick Van Dyke growing up?
No.
That is. The setup of the house is almost identical to the Dick Van Dyke set. The kitchen is in the same place. The furniture is in the same place. The piano is in the same place. The bedrooms are in the same place. The front door is. In fact, when they come in the opening credits, and the first time Vision goes through the door without opening the door and drops Wanda on the front, that's a callback to him doing that in Endgame or Infinity War and Civil War, where they had to have a talk about him using the door.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, it looked like he was a model for J. Crew.
Yep, and then when he gets in the house, he goes through the ottoman. Dick Van Dyke, when he entered the show, always tripped over the ottoman.
Okay, yeah.
So that's a call out to Dick Van Dyke.
Gotcha. Okay, that must be like King of Queens must have just copied that set.
Right.
I assume that's probably a pretty common set.
It's a pretty common sitcom style set.
That makes sense.
Where the living room's here, the bedrooms are in the back, so that we can use the camera to go to the kitchen relatively easily.
Or have that side shot of that open window to the kitchen.
Yep, which Dick Van Dyke set had that.
That makes sense then. Yeah. Very 50s in the first one. Very 50s.
It also had a lot of callbacks to, just a whole bunch of 50s TV shows. Leave It to Beaver.
Kind of I Dream of Jeannie. I feel like that was it.
That's more the second episode.
Oh, yeah, because she's used more of her powers then.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the name of it? My Three Sons. Harry and Harriet. And
I'm not super big on 50s shows.
I grew up watching them, but remembering the names of them. Ozzie and Harriet, that's the one.
Okay.
A lot of references to that kind of stuff. But yeah, super. I mean, the comedy's the same. Vision's workplace is very reminiscent of
like
Dick
a
Van
50s
Dyke.
style.
What's the other one? Beverly Hillbillies.
Where he's basically just crunching numbers for the sake of crunching numbers.
Right. Bewitched. The office is set up a lot like Bewitch's office were set up.
Bewitched. Maybe that's what I was thinking of because it had that.
Right. The first 2 episodes, it's kind of the black and white version of Bewitched, the black and white version of Dick Van Dyke, the black and white version of I Dream of Jeannie before they went to color.
That makes sense.
Not a lot of. I think they did a great job with it. The comedy was on point.
Mm-hmm. It's very slapsticky, old school. Yeah, it's very fitting for that time.
Yep.
The era in which they put it in.
Yep. Well, they also used a bunch of the techniques that they would have used then. I think they might have even used the same sorts of cameras that were used in the 50s.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I figured it was just a filter or something they put over top of it.
Actual.
Like film.
Like filmed with
film.
Real cameras.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how far with that they went. They might have just, made a program that looked like it, or
that's what I'm saying. They use
like
some sort of filter over top of it. I can't imagine they would go to the expense of using film or an old camera.
Yeah.
Maybe they just use older lenses.
It is Disney. I mean,
they have. Yeah.
Yeah. Money's not really
an object for them.
Yeah.
That's very true.
They got Kellogg's in the later episodes. Yeah. The commercial in the middle was great.
Oh yeah.
You know about Vision's nickname in the comics.
What was his nickname?
Wanda's nickname for Vision in the comics is Toaster.
Is it? Yep. That makes sense.
He's made by Stark. It's a Stark toaster.
Mm-hmm.
Vision was made by Stark. The red beeping light.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the toaster, it actually looks kind of like a face, where the knobs are the eyes and the lever is the mouth.
Okay, man, you really went into this.
Yeah. I thought that during the commercial, the beeping, how it sped up, I think there's some kind of overarching time limit on the whole thing.
I think so.
Like there's a bomb that's going to go off, like the ticking in the first 2 episodes.
Maybe
in the commercials seemed like a countdown type ticking to me.
Maybe it's Wanda's powers. Maybe it's her going to lose control, and she's gonna go nuclear.
So in the comics, in House of M, the kids that Wanda had in House of M were initially portions of Mephisto's spirit, so that he could come and cross onto our plane or come into our world, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if, because there have been quite a few references to Mephisto in the episodes that I've seen so far. So I kind of think that the countdown is to his return or his coming through or something, maybe his reveal, something like that. But I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Because the clock in the second episode, the watch commercial, same kind of thing. The ticking down sped up as the commercial ended. I think there's something going on there.
That makes sense. Something probably going to happen. If
well,
not,
yeah.
Look, my because I didn't realize the Mephisto Easter eggs. My thought was maybe Wanda's losing it.
The what is her name? Let's see.
Agnes.
Yeah, Agatha.
Could be Agatha.
Agatha and Agnes. That is, in the comics, that's one of Wanda's teachers.
Yeah, taught her how to use magic.
Right, helped her out in the beginning, right? And in in House of M, Agnes is in with Scarlet Witch in the separate reality that Wanda has built.
Yeah, so she kind of makes Magneto think he's running the show in House of M.
I mean, yeah, I think that was more. I think that's more pacifying people, right? Put them in positions where they're not going to question things.
Well, yeah, it was.
Right.
She gave everybody everything they ever wanted,
right?
And that's what he wanted was power,
right?
And that was kind of their distraction to get the heat off Wanda.
Make it easier for Wanda. Because I think that's one of the things that's coming out as the series goes on, is that it's not easy for Wanda to do this. And when something comes up where she has to focus on it, other things lose their grasp on the false reality.
Oh, yeah. You see that a little bit with reality kind of changing a little bit, or people kind of snapping out of it.
I think a good example of it is in the first episode when the boss is asking all the questions, starts choking, and she kind of
that moment
has that moment of like snapping back to actual reality.
Yeah.
And then
you notice the music kind of stops, goes away.
Well, then the boss goes away.
Yeah.
We haven't seen the boss again since then, and we've seen other characters from that first episode. So I think that she's trying to weed out people that are hard to influence. Because I think she has to really focus on Vision to keep Vision in it because he's so logical.
Yeah, I
think we saw that in the third episode.
Yeah, I don't think he's not in it because that. I think he's just not in it because we haven't seen Vision at work again, and I think he was just only supposed to be in one episode, being that the boss comes to your house, you're supposed to impress him. That was kind of a bit of a trope.
Is that how you took that?
Yeah, I thought that was just part of the old show trope of bring your boss over, or something bad happens.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the kind of the setup for it. But on the other hand, in the second episode, when we go to the talent show, the boss's wife is at the talent show.
Yeah. Well, right? The boss isn't?
And the boss isn't. And I think that we're going to find out that Agnes's wife, or Agnes's husband, Randy, is Mephisto.
Could be.
She makes a lot of references that kind of match up with him about it. Like in the third episode when she says, the power went out at our house too, but that's all right. Randy is better in the dark.
Yeah.
Because she's making a lot of references to
the
devil's in the details. You don't know where the devil is. Like a lot
that's true,
references to the devil. And as a witch, that might be where her powers come from, is Mephisto. She has made a deal with Mephisto to get her powers, or an increase in her powers.
Yeah, that would technically make her a warlock.
Right. I think overall,
or maybe it's more of a I'll help you come, spare me,
right,
kind of thing.
And then, I mean, we only had the one break in the first episode, but it's getting progressively worse. In the second episode, we have a couple of different breaks.
Color breaks.
As for the changing, because what is your theory on why they change decades every episode?
I think it's sticking with the TV thing. I don't necessarily think that has to do with anything with Wanda's powers. I think they'll tie it into it, but I think it's just a goof for them to go from 50s and then kind of move a little bit in the second episode, and then the third episode where they go to color. I think it's kind of more of maybe that could be a metaphor for Wanda clearing up a little bit in her head and grabbing more control, or it could just be that's when color TV kind of started becoming more popular.
So one of the interesting theories I've heard is that she is doing TV shows because she grew up in a third world country. And one of the big things in third world countries is syndicated American television.
That makes sense.
So she grew up watching old reruns from America.
That could be her idealization
and
of
that
perfect
is her
life.
that's where she felt safest, and that's where she felt most normal, was in those situations. So she's trying to recreate this idyllic American life from those influences.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that they're changing decades every episode, excuse me, at the end of the episodes is when we are getting those little breaks in the alternate reality.
Yeah.
So I think it's Wanda resetting the reality to try to get it to work better. So she tried Dick Van Dyke 1950s. Okay, there was some issues with that, so we're going to rewind and try this again.
Yeah. The second episode isn't quite 60s. It's still late 50s, early 60s.
Right. It's that genre or that time in between black and white and when it went to color. So we started out still in 50s, late 50s, early 60s TV shows like I Dream of Jeannie. Also, in that episode, same thing with the video equipment, same thing with the camera work.
Oh, my phone's Bluetooth of this thing. I need to turn that on silent.
Same kind of thing where they used that generation's special effects and camera tricks and filming style and all of that. And they've done it for each decade so far.
Yeah.
So do you think... So she's resetting at the end of every decade to try to get a reality where people don't question it so much, where people aren't going to fight it so bad. Because I think a lot of it is they're fighting it, is that the people inside are fighting it, and because she has to focus so hard on Vision to keep him playing along, that she loses, she can't focus on everybody. So she has to put them someplace where they kind of just accept what's going on.
Yeah. I don't think she's I don't think all the focus is keeping Vision in it, per se. I think it's keeping him real. Because Vision died. He's gone.
Right. Have you heard about the after credits deleted scene from Endgame? You want to look it up real quick?
Yes.
So anyway, they filmed it, and it didn't get put into Endgame. And it just was released because Paul, Beatty, whatever, was talking about it in an interview where they actually had him come in and film a scene for Endgame. And it's him as Vision, obviously. But the end scene is Wanda walking into Sword and opening up a freezer chest type thing, like a
cryo tube kind of thing.
No, like those chests that you would see in the coroner's office on TV, like a chest like that, where it's a drawer type freezers,
like in a morgue or something.
Like in a morgue.
Yeah. Okay.
And Vision's body is in it, and it's white Vision, like we had in the comics when he had no personality for that brief period because they had rebuilt him or brought him back or whatever, and he didn't have Wonder Man's
consciousness built into him,
personality built into him. And we were going to get White Vision in a couple of episodes of WandaVision until they changed it. And there's also been, and speaking of Wonder Man, have you caught the references to Wonder Man? There's quite a few of them. I think that's how we get Vision back at the end of WandaVision, is Wonder Man's introduced. He's already been cast by Marvel. What's his name? Nathan Fillion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nathan Fillion will be playing Wonder Man in the Marvel Universe.
Every Firefly fan's going to freak out.
Oh, I know. It's going to be great. I think he's fantastic.
He's a great actor.
Oh, yeah. So I think that we'll see Wonder Man show up in one of the movies and will volunteer or whatever to help bring Vision back. I don't know how, but...
They can't really use his consciousness because that would be a different...
They might make a photocopy of his personality. It might have to do something with his powers. He might donate a chunk of his power to restart Vision.
Could be.
Something like that.
See, I always thought it would just be Wanda is just using her power and that Vision isn't necessarily real. It's like in House of M where they're kind of real, but they're just constructs of her warp or reality warping ability.
Right. So...
But they all still kind of had free will and personalities in
House
of M.
That's what I'm saying about in WandaVision, where she's trying to find a reality that they will just accept.
I think all those people are people that she just abducted, or they were in that town.
Yep.
Because they all kind of break character, but they know. Like Agnes, like she's like,
so,
don't say anything. Don't say anything to her.
I think what we're gonna find out at the end of the series, or at some point in the series, because I don't know how you have more than one season of this. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think you can.
I think we only get 9 episodes of this, and that's it. And I think that we get that because it's a longer story. It needs more time to play out than a movie.
Yeah.
And I think that we got this because a WandaVision movie wouldn't work very well. I don't think.
No, it would be 10 hours long.
Well, not only would it be 10 hours long, but I also don't think that as many people would go and see it because they are smaller characters.
Yeah.
So I think that this is Disney's test run for, tying the smaller characters into the big movie franchises.
Yeah, of course.
So that they have a smaller venue for them, obviously. So I think we get like a Young Justice series, or
that's
when
DC.
they want to sell, or not Young Justice, Young Avengers.
Okay.
Or if they want to do a single Spider-Man arc, like the Clone Saga.
Oh, Ben Reilly.
And they do it in the
TV show,
Disney Plus TV show style series.
Yeah, they could.
Well, they've got all of the people from the Netflix series are coming back to reprise their roles.
That's gonna be cool.
Anyway, so I think that we're gonna find out somewhere in the series, towards the end, that Agnes is working with Mephisto. And Mephisto needs Wanda's kids to open a portal into our reality or dimension or whatever to try to take over it. And I think Mephisto is going to be the bad guy in Doctor Strange 2. And I think
that'll link into
Doctor
this.
Strange is going to be the one to get Wanda out of this current issue or reality that she's in and help her.
It would kind of have
Because
to
Doctor Strange plays a really big role in Wanda's training in the comics.
Yeah, he's the one who wipes her memory of the kids and everything, too.
And that's why she's in Doctor Strange 2. I think that this is going to tie into Doctor Strange 2 that way.
Hey, that would make perfect sense.
So, Mephisto needs Wanda to have these kids.
Yeah.
Which is why, and I think that we're seeing her being tricked into giving birth to them. That's why in the second episode we had all the for the children thing. Like, I don't think that she thought about having kids until
that makes a lot of sense.
We had for the kids. Like, there's one moment in the second episode where she gets like a, kids type look on her face. Like right after that little meeting about the talent show.
Yeah. Everybody keeps asking her, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have kids? Yeah, that makes sense then.
Right? And so I think Mephisto will be, or Agnes will be, the bad guy of WandaVision. I don't think Wanda is the bad guy. I think that they're playing up that she is. just for a twist at the end. But I don't think that she's going to be the overarching bad guy. I think that Sword is trying to help her get out of it. They know that it's not her. They know that she's being tricked. The person on the TV at the end of the first episode that was watching the TV.
Yeah.
I think that's Darcy from Thor 2, Kat Dennings' character.
Okay. I haven't seen Thor 2 in
because she's in the trailer for WandaVision. And I think that because she was a scientist and worked alongside Natalie Portman and what's his name's characters.
Yeah. She's a girl from Two Broke Girls, right? That chick?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yep. And I think that she has figured out a way to look into other dimensions or other realities. And that's what we're seeing on that TV screen is her looking into it. I think that Tony Stark is going to play quite a big role in this, but not be in it. So the helicopter in episode 2.
Yeah. It has the
toy.
Yeah, we just watched number 3, and I saw the shield emblem on it. I wasn't paying attention enough on the first one.
The shield or the sword emblem has shown up 4 or 5, 6 times, somewhere in there. Like enough that it's getting, okay, this is who's working on it, is Sword. But the toy helicopter, I think that was Tony Stark tech. It drops in when it's in the bush. It's in Stark's colors, red and gold and silver. I think they're using Stark tech to look in. I think that's why we got the Stark commercial.
See, that wouldn't make sense because in the cinematic universe, she got her powers from the Tesseract, which was an Infinity Stone.
Mind Stone, kind of. I think that's what we're going to see come out, is that the Mind Stone is what kind of unlocks the mutant abilities.
No, I'm saying for them to be able to look in it, they would have knowledge of it because they harnessed because her and her brother got their powers from what was the Space Stone.
Okay.
So, but they already had technology to harness that power, so it makes sense that they could kind of tap into it. They already have an understanding of that energy. Right,
and if you look, and this is something that just popped into my head, the Reality Stone in Infinity War uses the same type of color and power effect as Wanda's powers do.
Yeah.
Right? So if they can tap into the Tesseract and into the Mind Stone, right, to harness that power, they have figured out that Wanda's powers are based on the Reality Stone or the Infinity Stone, so they can see into that aspect of her powers.
Maybe she'll be because maybe the stones are just kind of the physical manifestation of these powers. Maybe she's a remnant of that, and she can.
Right.
Yeah, she's a link to it.
Or maybe that's where her powers came from.
Oh, it did.
It was through the Space Stone.
It was. They
the Reality Stone through the Space Stone.
Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe just because she got it because they were experimenting on. Maybe all the stones are not naturally linked, and she can just siphon power through.
That's a possibility.
Through the energy that binds them all.
Right. Or her and the Reality Stone dip into the same pool for their power, something like that.
Could be.
There's going to be something with the stones that has caused mutants to exist. I don't think that we're going to get the no more mutants or make mutants moment that we all thought we were going to get. I think that we're going to realize where Wanda's powers came from and her brother's powers came from. And when Thanos snapped and unsnapped, that kicked off the evolution of mutants.
That would make sense. People being taken away and brought back, something would come back wrong
with them. Or come back with them because they were moved through the stones.
Yeah. Maybe maybe the countdown, this is just me kind of spitballing, maybe the countdown is to Wanda going critical. And when she does, she releases something and activates the mutant genes in people.
That's 100% possible. I agree with that.
Because if they did bring something with them, maybe it's dormant until it's activated.
Right.
And since she has powers similar, if not derived from all the stones, then she'd be the catalyst.
Yes. Yep. But I think we're going to find out at the end of this, during this series, that there's other dimensions, there's other realities. And that's how we get into the reality part of Doctor Strange, the dimensional part of Doctor Strange.
Yeah. See, I thought mutants would be just from different dimensions. I thought that's how they would bring them in.
That's a possibility too, but I think that it's more likely something happened with the Infinity Stones that changed the mutants. And Wanda is going to be the catalyst for that in our reality.
Yeah. Almost like an Inhumans thing, like with the Terrigen Mist.
Yeah, kind of. Yep.
Kind of a hybrid of the two.
Yeah.
Because they tried the New Mutants movie, and that was supposed to be a tie-in somehow, but it bombed. Because it it bombed, not necessarily because of what it was, but because of the timing.
Have you seen it yet?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay, let's watch it, and then...
I mean, I know...
I've seen it.
I've seen the reviews, and I know the gist of it.
Yep. But yeah, we're WandaVision. We'll talk about...
Yeah. New Mutants later.
Because there's still a bunch of stuff to go over in WandaVision.
Yeah, because we just kind of did. I love the talent show episode.
Oh, yeah.
I love this.
I love that the Mind Stone is on the chest that they use for the magic trick.
Is it?
It's the Mind Stone on the front of the chest.
I'm gonna have to rewatch these, because I just watched them once,
right?
And just I need to watch them again and really pay attention.
And this is what makes me think that Wanda is spending so much energy on Vision, because in this episode, in episode 2, at the end, right before the beekeeper comes out of the
sewer drain,
yeah. Right? Vision is starting to logic his way out of this situation.
Yeah.
And that's when the beekeeper guy gets in.
She's like, no.
And she's like, no. She rewinds it, resets. They go to the 1960s, late 60s, early 70s. And then in the third episode, when they're sitting on the couch talking about the baby, like how she got pregnant.
And he starts to logic his way
through it. And it just boom, rewinds, right? That's why. And then at the end, in that episode, that's when all of the crazy stuff starts happening throughout the neighborhood, where stuff starts to go weird in the kitchen. She starts to have contractions. Like she's pulling his focus off of that to focus on what's happening right now, so that he stops logicking. So he stops thinking.
I thought that was just the baby messing with her powers.
I think that also. I think that, so in episode 3, what we see Vision with a new power we've never seen him with, super speed. We've never seen him use super speed in any of the Marvel stuff, any of the movies.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
I think so you got Billy and Tommy are the kids. Wiccan is Tommy. Bill, I can't remember Billy's name.
I don't know. I never read the parts with her kids. I've read Avengers Disassemble and then House of M, which is kind of the aftermath of all that. Right.
So Billy's name in the comics is Wiccan, or Tommy's name is Wiccan, and he has powers like Wanda.
The other one has a different power set.
He's a speedster.
Oh, so they're like Wanda and her brother, Quicksilver. I wonder, that's just a weird off-the-cuff kind of thing. What? If they had some sort of crossover with the Days of Future Past X-Men. If she saw that Quicksilver, I wonder what that interaction would be like.
If what? Sorry, say that again.
If she saw the Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, I wonder how that interaction would go.
There
Because
is
that's a weird alternate dimension version of her brother.
there is a theory that the guy from Days of Future Past, will be reprising his role as Quicksilver in the movies. That she'll be bringing him over.
Makes sense. I kind of figured, I was wondering if in this, following kind of the House of M thing, if she would bring her brother back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Because, in House of M, she brought so many people back to life.
I don't think, well, that's possible.
But I thought it would be, she would have him throughout it, and then, like, the third episode, I wholeheartedly think Bernadine is Misty Knight.
You think Bernadine is Misty Knight?
Yeah.
Which one's Bernadine?
The black girl.
No.
The afro. I thought that was Misty Knight.
Right. Do you know who she is?
Misty Knight? No. Yeah.
No, Bernadine.
No.
So, you've seen Captain Marvel?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
no, I haven't.
Little
watched
girl in the Captain Marvel movie.
I haven't watched
Carol
Captain Marvel.
Danvers' best friend's daughter.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. She picks her colors or something.
Yeah, helps
Yeah.
with the colors. That's her.
Oh, okay.
Supposedly, those are the same characters.
Gotcha.
Um,
I thought that was going to be Misty Knight working for S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to get in, because that's kind of like her thing.
It kind of is. She's kind of a hybrid of a couple of different characters, just like everybody else in one.
That makes sense.
Anyway, so... Gosh, I cannot remember that other kid's name.
I don't know.
I know, I can't. And I've looked it up like twice. Tommy is a speedster like his Uncle Quicksilver.
His name is just Speed.
It might just be
Hulking.
Speed.
Just Speed?
It might be Speed. Yeah, because that's all. Yeah, his name's Speed. Jeez, no wonder I couldn't remember. Yep, that's Tommy. So,
Okay.
So in the third series, or this third episode, when the butterflies
Come to life.
Come to life, that's Wiccan,
Mhm.
right? And I think Wiccan is also able to take Speed's power and transfer it to Vision, because we've never seen Vision move.
It would make sense that he could
Speed.
move that quickly, though.
I mean, kind of, but we've never seen him do it. So why would he suddenly be able to do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have seen it in, so, for example, Winter Soldier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, Civil War.
Yeah.
Right.
He wasn't in there.
Cap and Bucky are getting away.
Mhm.
Vision's got super speed. Why doesn't he just go over and stop him?
That's true.
Right? Why doesn't he fly after him and bring down the plane? There's so many chances for him to use that, and he hasn't. Right? So I think we're getting representations of the kids' powers. When things are going nuts in the house, when it's raining, her coat's changing, that's Wiccan. Tommy's the first one born because he's fast, so he comes out first.
That makes sense.
That's why there's so much time between the two of them, because Tommy came out so quickly.
Yeah, Speedster. That makes sense.
Right. So I think they're already using their powers.
Or maybe they're just bleeding over and Wanda's a conduit for it.
Maybe.
Or
I don't think that we're going to have the... So one of the hiccups in the MCU, or in transferring the comics to the movies and TV shows, is explaining how some people have this, some people don't. Like, for example, Franklin Richards. At a very, very young age, he's a mutant, and he's able to use his powers when he's very young.
Normally it comes when
that
they're
continuity misses.
Yeah.
Because most mutants don't get their powers until they're adults.
They
or
hit puberty
and it starts to manifest. So I think in the MCU, what we're going to see is they're mutants from the get-go. They can use powers from the jump. That's why it's so important for Xavier to have his mansion and have his school, is that these kids start having powers manifest at a very young age.
I would think they would just chalk it up to how powerful you are, and how that would make it manifest quicker.
That's a possibility also. I think it just makes the continuity easier.
Yeah.
If you don't have to explain every single time. Well, Jean Grey didn't get her powers until she was 16, whereas Cyclops got his powers when he's 12. But
you could just say it affects people differently. Everybody has different biology, and then you just write stories accordingly.
Yep. But I think that to explain it, I think that's what we're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can have Franklin Richards at the end of the second Fantastic Four movie or third Fantastic Four movie.
That'd be crazy.
That kind of stuff.
He's ridiculous powerful.
Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see Legion brought in from FX now.
That'd be cool.
That was a great series.
I still haven't watched it, but I know who Legion is and how he's ridiculous powerful too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's going to be... I think we only get one season of this. I think it's going to be great. I really like how they've been... Like, things are slowly degrading quicker.
Yeah. It's on
like
Wanda's eyes are opening.
First episode, there's only the one incident. The second episode, there's 2. The third episode, there's 3 incidences. They've really got the creepiness factor down of it.
Yeah.
Like the beekeeper was super creepy.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. I don't understand why they went with beekeeper.
So it wasn't... That's how she manifested him.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably a SHIELD agent in a hazmat suit trying to get in to help Wanda out.
That makes sense then.
And she couldn't
So she
easily
covered
come up
it.
with an explanation for why he's in a hazmat suit. So she just
Yeah,
put a beekeeper
similar,
suit on him.
Yeah.
So that Vision didn't question so much. Because I think she is having to do a lot of work to keep Vision up and running and pacified.
So that's why I thought she's using power to keep him, like his soul, maybe bound to a construct that she created, and that's how he keeps his memories and everything, or his personality.
So I don't think that it's Vision's real body.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she is using a bunch of power to make him.
Yeah, just like she did in it's a false construct of Vision.
Right. He's completely fake, and she needed the town folks and that sort of thing, so she didn't have to make everything from scratch.
Which makes sense.
So I think that's what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But it is possible that it's Vision's body.
I don't think it is. I think it's her
They had
created something.
They had an end scene where she's taken his body.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I guess it depends if they want to make that canon, or if that's just here's something extra we didn't put in the movie.
Maybe it is Vision's body, right? End of the series, we figure out, what exactly is going on.
Mm-hmm.
It really is Vision's body. It's white Vision. Shield or sword helps Wanda get him back, fix him, and we get white Vision for a little while in the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And then we run into Wonder Man. Wonder Man helps get Vision's personality back into Vision. And then we have a more comic book accurate Vision in the long term.
Yeah, that could be it. Or we could go down the more dark road, which, because Marvel does not like people to be happy, as you've probably noticed throughout all of comics.
Okay.
That when all of this is broken, and for whatever reason, and Wanda's reality comes crashing down, Vision either just degrades away and says, I'll always love you, kind of thing.
Right.
Or the glamour, the charm wears off, and Vision's dead body from Endgame flops over.
Possibly.
And it's her kind of manipulating it reality-wise. And it's his real body, but it's kind of like a puppet with his personality attached.
One of the things that I think is odd that I've seen so far about WandaVision is in the trailer when they're doing the Halloween episode and they're trick-or-treating and Scarlet Witch is dressed up like comic Scarlet Witch and Vision is dressed up like comic Vision. Partway through, Vision realizes something is off and changes his own appearance to look more like the MCU Vision. Right? And it's in the trailer, it's when he goes up to Agatha and she's in the car and he touches her head and she says he's dead. Vision, at that point in the series, it looks like Vision has gotten something figured out. So he's actually thinking outside of Wanda's influence. So I think that's why we're going to have something different than that happen. I don't think that Vision is there's some aspect of Vision that's not being influenced by Wanda.
Yeah, that's why I thought she maybe pulled his soul or consciousness from.
Right, maybe
death.
She's making the connections that the Mind Stone was missing.
Yeah, or
when the Mind Stone got pulled out.
Yeah, and it's just her holding him together.
Right.
But she has to focus on that.
Right.
But he's free-willed.
And I think part of that, we can see that in the second episode really well when they're done with the meeting for the talent show.
Yeah.
And the blonde woman cuts her hand and we get color in her hand. And at the same time, the radio comes through. And we get, what's his name, from Ant-Man coming through the radio. Because that's the FBI agent from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah,
okay.
That was coming through that radio. He's there.
Okay.
I didn't
realize that.
He's there. Darcy's there. The young girl from Captain Marvel is there. These are all people that are there.
All the budget characters, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder are there any heroes there? Are there any super people there? Are there any of them that are in the reality with them?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No.
Because that was one of the things from
who's
House of M was...
all the superheroes are back.
Right. So I'm wondering if there aren't a couple of mutants that Wanda has trapped with her inside of this.
It could be.
And we just either aren't seeing them or they're so powerful that Wanda has got them unconscious somewhere.
I don't
something
think so.
like that. And maybe that's what SWORD is trying to get. SWORD is trying to not only get Wanda out, but they also know that there's super individuals in there that can help. So they're trying to get to those individuals to help get Wanda out.
I don't think so. I think it's just SWORD trying to keep everything under wraps.
Maybe.
Keep everything cordoned off, like we saw at the end of the third episode.
Trying to just keep everybody safe.
Yeah.
Keep her from
going nuclear.
Farther.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And her just going, just mental breakdown and boom.
All right, so what's your favorite Easter egg that you've noticed so far? Mine's right at the beginning of the first episode.
Which is?
When they're going into the kitchen and the plate falls on Vision's head, and Wanda goes, "My husband with his indestructible head," is a callback to the Mind Stone being pulled out of Vision's head.
Is that? Oh, okay.
That's what I took it as.
I thought it was the whole, his body being made out of vibranium.
I think it was a callback to, because that's how he dies, was
the
Mind Stone being pulled out. So why wouldn't she, in this reality, want him to have an indestructible head that can't happen to?
I just thought it was vibranium body. I don't know. I don't know what I guess would be. I haven't really thought about favorite Easter eggs. A lot of my favorite parts are like the whole Vision having the chewing gum, and it shows the cartoon gum up his system, and it's kind of him being drunk. Kind of an old TV trope of somebody lucking out, being drunk and lucking out, getting through something. Because I love that whole the magic show,
right?
And Scarlet Witch is just popping things in existence, like the The little crane that lifted up Vision, make it look like he was flying.
Yep.
All that stuff.
So you haven't noticed any Easter eggs in the show yet?
I need to watch it over again. Because I was kind of... I watch it, but I need to watch it again to really pay attention.
Okay. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them. A lot more than I thought that there would be. Like the posters in the grocery store, each one of them's an Easter egg. The rabbit from the magic trick is an Easter egg.
Literally.
Yeah, no,
I mean, Easter egg, rabbit.
Well, it's actually, it's a reference to Mephisto and a storyline with Mephisto.
Okay,
Mephisto and
I didn't know
Agnes.
that.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff. There's a lot of, in the third episode, when she's painting the stork on the wall, the name of the paint is named after one of the storyboard artists.
Okay.
For the MCU. Just
tons of little things.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Somehow they got Kroger, a bunch of, not Kroger, Kellogg's brand stuff is in the third episode, which they don't usually let people
use
put
real
their
brands.
stuff.
Yeah.
Use real brands, but it's in there. Hydra. The Hydra soap. Is a callback in the comics. Hydra made a soap.
Did they?
That mind-controlled people.
Okay.
Hydra blue soap.
There's a lot of stuff I didn't even know.
There is one of the theories I've heard about it is that Hydra is the one that's causing all of this. That Hydra still exists and they are causing.
I mean, that would make sense.
Right. They've mind-controlled Scarlet Witch somehow.
I mean,
but
they
I
kind
don't
of
see how that.
They kind of had control over her the first time.
Yeah, but I don't see how they get it like this level of mind control. I think this is also where we get the Young Avengers, because we have the Miss Marvel TV series coming up. She's in the Young Avengers. We get a Young Avengers out of this.
Maybe it'd be more West Coast Avengers, like the newer comics.
West
Kinda
Coast Avengers, I think we
that.
get from Black Widow. In Black Widow, there's a reference to West Coast Avengers, and I think that's...
Well, Miss Marvel's in the West Coast Avengers, so I just kind of figured...
We know there's a Thunderbolts coming out.
Yeah.
So I think that Thunderbolts is going to lead to West Coast Avengers. But that's me.
Maybe a clash with them.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
Anything else?
Let's see. Yeah, I like that. Like I thought Bernadine was going to be, I thought she was Misty Knight. And I'm wondering if, because she came in and was playing the part, but I was wondering if going in there affects you immediately, or if she was just playing along the whole time. Because she had that break where she said, Ultron killed your brother.
I don't think so, because in episode 2, when she comes out of the disappearing chest, she didn't know how she got there. And I think that was a reference to not knowing how she got in, because she wasn't in the first episode.
Yeah, she just showed up.
She just shows up in the second episode with no explanation. In the third episode, Agnes tells Vision she doesn't have a house.
Yeah.
She doesn't have kids. She's not from here.
Yeah.
And then she gets booted out. So I think Agnes helped Scarlet Witch figure out that she didn't belong there.
Yeah, maybe leaving little clues of some sort, or
maybe putting something around, maybe casting something on her so that the mind control doesn't work, the reality bending doesn't work as well, so that she slips up and says something.
Or maybe it was just a lapse in Wanda's control. 'Cause,
Wanda,
I mean,
obviously, go ahead.
People have that. They've lost a little bit, and she slipped up.
Right.
That's why I was thinking maybe when you go in there, you're under that influence.
Yeah, it seems like it happens immediately. I mean, Wanda obviously knew the shield or the sword emblem, knew what it was, wanted to know how she got in there, all that kind of stuff.
Maybe they gave her something to have some sort of resistance to it.
Maybe.
Some sort of inoculation. And the necklace was supposed to be something inconspicuous that would snap her out of it so she could do her mission.
Well, she had it on the whole time. She's always, if you pay attention, every time she's on screen, she has something with the shield emblem on her. Just like Agnes always has the brooch. The black and white brooch is on her everywhere. I really think that because Agnes is such a large part of Wanda's origin story in the comics, I think that she's going to play a much, much bigger role than what she is right now.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think that she is...
Should probably be revealed in the last couple episodes of what she really is. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it also is that to get a Young Avengers, they need to age up these characters pretty significantly.
Yeah.
So I think in the next episode, we see them as toddlers.
Could be. And then, maybe this Wanda influencing things,
so
making people older.
We're in the late 60s, early 70s right now. So I think we get a mid-70s, late 70s next week.
Yeah,
and they are...
I thought kind of weird.
5 to 8 years old.
Yeah, and she artificially ages them with her powers.
Yep.
I thought in the third episode, I felt a real Brady Bunch vibe from the set.
Yep.
I was like, is this the Brady Bunch set?
Yep. Have you ever seen Partridge Family? It was third episode's based relatively loosely on Partridge Family, Brady Bunch.
Yeah. I figured it was something from that vein.
The opening song is very much a Partridge Family opening. The opening is how the Partridge Family kind of really opened up. The house is very much a Brady Bunch style house.
Yeah, it is.
The outfits are very much Partridge Family outfits.
Very 60s-y, too.
Yep.
Very long, flowy on her.
Yep. I think the doctor knows something about what's going on.
Yeah, because he didn't question anything.
Well, so when Vision starts asking him about how this could have happened, how we could have, it's been 12 hours, how are we 4 months along? And he suddenly remembers that he has to go on a trip.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
And then at the end, he makes the comment to Vision about, well, you know how small towns are.
You're trapped in it.
Impossible to escape.
Yeah.
I think the black guy came in with the black chick. Because when he's trimming the hedges, he starts...
Yeah, he starts sawing through
the barrier.
Yeah.
So he's on the inside trying to get something through, trying to break the barrier.
But wouldn't
that's why he doesn't want to tell Vision what it is, because he's afraid that if he gives up what's going on, he'll get booted also.
See, I just thought maybe he was working with Agnes, because she stops him, but she never she doesn't go any farther.
It might be that Agnes is trying to help, and she's one of the super individuals that's trying to help get Vision out and get Wanda out, and she knows that these two are not, because she definitely knows more about what's going on than she's letting.
Yeah, well, maybe they're both plants. And then they send in...
I think that Agnes is not a plant. I think that Agnes was drawn in some other way.
Yeah, maybe she sensed the magical power.
Maybe she was working with Wanda to help her with her powers when this happened.
Or maybe this has to do with Mephisto. And Wanda did all this on her own to kind of have a happy reality.
Yep.
And then she's drawn to it, and Mephisto says, go. And then she kind of uses her powers to get in there and maybe alter things. And Wanda goes, oh, yeah, I know you. You're part of this.
Maybe.
And that's how
possible.
She's slowly making changes for Mephisto.
Maybe. That's definitely true. The reason I say, Agnes is Wanda's first teacher. Doctor Strange is the second. We have Agnes in WandaVision. Wanda is going to be back in Doctor Strange 2.
Yeah.
So I think that's a natural progression for that.
Yeah, it would make sense then, yeah. Wasn't Wanda's abilities originally called Chaos Magic? And then they retconned it to something else?
I think she still uses a lot of chaos magic.
Because wasn't it her powers were? I thought they were called chaos magic, and then they kind of retconned it for Doctor Strange to be able to teach her and saying, "Oh, she's not using a different kind of magic. She's not using a proprietary.
She's using
otherworldly thing. It's just magic. It's just a different way of using it."
Yes, kind of.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it was something like that.
But it was chaos. I think it still is. I think it's just, it's a more volatile type of magic than what Captain Strange than what Doctor Strange uses.
Yeah, because she uses her mutant power. She doesn't use spells per se. She doesn't have to learn it. She naturally feels
her
it.
Mutant power is naturally tapping into that feral, wild, early magic that Doctor Strange is talking about.
Okay.
So it's always been that. They called it chaos magic because they didn't know what it was. Doctor Strange didn't know what it was until he started working with her, figured out what it was, and kind of corrects.
Okay, he's just like, oh, that's what this is.
Right.
Let's work on that.
Right.
It's not something I don't know about.
Right. It's something that I don't work with because
it has a bad
I have
effect.
Better stuff, basically.
Probably more controlled.
Right. It would be like, I think it's like somebody making rudimentary fireworks.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Chinese did in the 600s, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just gunpowder stuffing into logs.
Yeah, they can use it, right? But it's not what you and I could go get.
Yeah.
Right? So we don't use that kind anymore because we have better, more advanced.
Yeah, more sophisticated.
Stuff available. And I think that's what it is.
I was thinking it was more like a, like in movies, there's always the prototype, and then there's the more. Then later on, it's like, oh, here's this, and then that goes bad. Oh, we got to get the prototype because the prototype's technically stronger, but it's not as advanced.
Kind of. And
well, there's more animalistic brute force, even though something's more advanced.
Right. And I mean, Wanda is a reality bender.
Yeah, 100%.
Like she.
Like with the
turkey. I don't know if she uses magic to bend reality, or if she's like Legion or Franklin Reed, where they just inherently know how to do it.
I don't know.
Because Franklin Reed is a mutant.
Yeah, he is.
Wanda is, the way I've heard it explained is Wanda can bend reality on like a planet type basis, whereas Franklin is
more
universe,
cosmic. Yeah,
is multi-dimensional type level.
Yeah, he's beyond Omega level mutant.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. What were you saying about turkey?
Like when she had the turkey go from raw to super overcooked and then back to like a chick or whatever.
Yep.
Just bends reality.
Right.
Which I think is probably just from her magic.
I think that's how we know in the third episode that Wiccan is causing some of the issues. Because she tries to keep poofing away the stork and it won't go anywhere. And I think that's because it's Wiccan that's doing it.
I was just thinking maybe it was just her powers not working properly.
I think that it's set up so that we're unsure of exactly what's going on.
That makes sense, yeah.
So, predictions for the next episode. What do you think's going to happen?
I think they'll send in another person. They'll pick up. I keep wanting to call her Misty Knight because that's what she looks like a lot.
It might be. I can't remember her name exactly, but yeah, I think she might be Misty Knight in the MCU.
It's just Geraldine on here,
right? Because they haven't released it yet, so they're not gonna.
But she looks like a Misty Knight. Like she's this badass super detective.
Yep, and that's possible.
I think they'll either try to send in another drone or something. I think Wanda's going to start losing it a little more, even more this next episode.
So I think next episode is the Halloween episode, I think we're in
I have an idea.
late 70s, early 80s. And I think part of what we're going to see going forward is the kids returning to childhood, returning to babies whenever it's reset, so that we know that she's resetting things, not just guessing that she is. I think that we're going to see kind of a bigger break in it. We're going to see Vision definitely start to like pick up on what's going on, and her having to do an extreme reset where she actually has to rebuild the house, not just snap to a different.
I just had an idea. I think in the next one, it'll be the Halloween episode, and some kid will be dressed up as a gorilla. And next thing you know, there's a gorilla, and she has to plugging the holes, putting the fingers in the dam, doing this. Like, things will start warping to whatever Halloween thing they are.
Oh, really?
And she'll have to stop because it's her mind making it happen.
It and thinking it's this.
Subconsciously.
Oh, that's
And then
good.
she has to focus. And Vision's like, what was that?
That's
She's
why
like, no,
she
look
loses a
over
little
here.
bit of vision. Yeah, that's a good one.
And then she just has to spot heal things, take care of it. And then maybe that gets overwhelming for her and she has a little bit of and then it snaps. And then she rewrites everything.
That's great. I think next week we have to get together and figure out which one it is.
Yes, we will. All right.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a long one.
Yeah. About an hour-ish.
Yeah.
I'll have to cut out a little bit from the beginning, but...
All right, well.
Closing statements?
I'm excited for a series. I'm excited for Winter Soldier to start up.
I wonder if that'll tie into this. Bucky will have to go in.
I don't think so. I think we're going to see more of like a... I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. I think Winter Soldier Falcon's going to be more of like a buddy cop type series.
I'm wondering if like how WandaVision will tie into Doctor Strange too, if Bucky and Falcon will tie into another movie.
I think so. Yeah. I think Black Widow's going to tie in with Bucky and Falcon.
That'd be cool.
Yep.
All right,
I agree. All right. Well, until next time, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Have to say it. Have a good night.